What is going on, everybody? So today we're going to do a little bit of an ETB update to start off the video, and then we'll get into another topic later on. But to start off with the ETBs, there's really only a couple things to talk about this week. Hidden Fates. I thought these ETBs were going to be close to around 375 on TCG Player this week, and the graph seems like it's behind, right? Because all of the recent sales are around $400. The most recent one's $385, but that's still above where I thought it was going to be. But I think just based on the lower sell-through rate and not too many transactions happening on the platform, it's going to take a while for the graph to catch up. Outside of Hidden Fates, we have Crown Zenith. This is sitting around $175. All signs point to Crown Zenith continuing to climb. I think this is going to walk into the 180, 185 range here fairly shortly. And Hidden Fates too, by the way, I think it's probably going to level out closer to like 380, 390. I don't think we're going to see this jump up to $500 anytime soon. But Crown Zenith is going to continue to climb, I think, into the 180, 185 range. And then Paldean Fates, it's kind of in an in-between range right now where I think it could probably move up to like 180, 185, similar to Crown Zenith. But it wouldn't surprise me either if it sticks around $175. But it does seem like it's fairly legit, and this isn't just a buyout on TCG Player. When I looked at the secondary market data, there really was not a ton of Paldean Fates on the market below like 209-ish. And I don't think it's all of the boxes being sold because the sell-through rate, although it was up, wasn't up that much to justify the amount of boxes that we lost. So I think one or two sellers probably pulled a fair amount of their boxes from the market. And you can, of course, find a few listings below $170, but there aren't that many before you get up to that 170, 175 range. So I feel pretty confident in saying we're going to find a new bottom on Paldean Fates. Now, moving into the rest of the video, I did want to reply to yesterday's video because I got a lot of hate from you guys in the comments, and some of you guys weren't hating, you were just disagreeing respectively, and that's awesome. And I think some of you guys brought up really good points actually, and a lot of it had to do with the Charizard UPC and the Arceus V-Star UPC. I think a lot of the other ones like the Terrapagos, the Greninja, I don't think anyone's really arguing that those aren't the best investment. And I hear you guys when you say that, you know, if you bought the Charizard UPC at $80, you've done very well and it was a great investment. And I agree with you. If you did buy this at $80, you've done incredibly well, and it is an awesome investment. However, it's not the best investment, not even close, right? So if we take, and this is from, I put in January 1st, 2024 to current day. So if you go look at PokeData or whatever chart you want to use, these on January 1st, 2024 were about $100, right? Maybe a tiny bit less. Now, I know you could have bought these at $80, and that's why I was generous. I put in $80 and I put in current market price. That's an annualized ROI of 143, almost 144%. At the same time period, this is Crown Zenith ETB is 167% ROI, annualized ROI. And then Evolving Skies booster boxes, 174.4% annualized ROI. And there's lots of other things you could throw in here, like your Fusion Strike, like a lot of the Sun and Moon booster boxes, Team Up, Cosmic Eclipse, also the PCTBs, Paldea Evolve, Obsidian Flames. There are lots of investments that have beat out the Charizard UPC, even if you bought it at $80. So that's why, you know, when I go into it, and this is kind of where you argue semantics, right? If it's a great investment or not. But I do agree with you guys. If you bought it at $80, it was a great investment. However, we need to be very conscious of where we're at in the hobby. This isn't an $80 box anymore. It's not 2023, 2024. This is mid-2025 at this point. It's a $300 box, and it has a variety of packs inside. And I know you have some decent packs, and people are bringing that up for the Arceus V-Star collection because I said it didn't have the best pack selection, and it doesn't, guys. It has good packs, okay? It has Evolving Skies, you have some Brilliant Stars, some Lost Origin, but there are collection boxes that have just Evolving Skies, Lost Origin, Fusion, and Chilling, and those are better packs, in my opinion, than having to have Astral Radiance and Vivid Voltage. But ignoring the minutia, right? And if you look at the return of these boxes, they are going to slow down, okay? So past year, 112% ROI. If you compare that to basically any other set that was kind of obvious to be a better investment, like Silver Tempest, a very strong alt art set, up 120%, Astral Radiance up 125%, Brilliant Stars up 125%, Obsidian 130%. This one wasn't super obvious to me, but Paldea Evolve definitely was at 147%, Twilight 140%, Evolving Skies 165, Lost Origin 175, and then 151 This is the one UPC now that I agree with you guys. Like 151 UPCs were a legit great investment, but it goes back to the same issue that I have with the Charizard UPC at this point is that I think there's going to be way better places to put your money. For example, just with 151, the PCTBs and the regular ETBs have both outperformed the UPCs. They also both have better sell-through rates, at least from what I'm seeing on eBay. And that's a very strong specialty set where you know which packs you're getting inside. With something like the Charizard UPC or the Arceus one with a variety of packs, you're better off just investing in the booster boxes of those sets. And the reality is, and guys, we've covered this multiple times on the channel, if you guys want to invest in Evolving Skies, if you want to invest in Lost Origin, if you want to invest in Brilliant Stars or Fusion Strike, just buy those booster boxes. You're going to do better overall by doing that. You're going to have a more liquid, desirable product than having something that's kind of a hodgepodge that has a lower end pack inside, like Vivid Voltage, like Astral Radiance. And I saw a comment, somebody said that they use the Charizard UPC kind of like an ETF, right? You get a little bit of exposure to most of the sets from the era. And going back to the point I made where the best sets outperform everything else in the hobby, we're not in the stock market, guys. After 3 to 5 years of an era, probably like 2 to 3 actually, if we're being genuine. At that point, you can kind of tell which sets are going to be the best. For example, in Sword and Shield era, it was obvious, probably in like 2023, even 2022, Evolving Skies, Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars, Fusion Strike, those sets were going to be better than Vivid Voltage, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, etc. So if you have the money, it's probably just better to buy those sets. Now, if you only have a couple $100, if you don't have enough money to buy a Fusion Strike booster box or a Lost Origin one, or definitely not an Evolving Skies one, then that's fine. I think it's legit at that point to be spending a couple $100 to get a little bit of exposure to Evolving Skies, to Lost Origin. That's great, while also ignoring that it's less space efficient, it has lower levels of liquidity. I think that's just being a little bit disingenuous. That'd be like me coming on here and saying that these Divergent Powers tins were a great investment, guys. I bought a lot of these, okay? These have 2 Evolving Skies in them. They have 2 Astral Radiance. They have a Brilliant Stars. That's still not even the best pack selection, right? It could have had Fusion Strike or Lost Origin instead of Astral. And I made close to 150% on my investment. And that was in really only like a 16 to 18 month period of time. That was a bad investment, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and say that it was a great investment. I could have put my money into Evolving Skies booster boxes, into Lost Origin booster boxes, into Fusion Strike booster boxes, Brilliant Stars booster boxes, Crown Zenith ETBs, 151 ETBs. Any of those investments would have outperformed these Divergent Powers tins. And that's really all I was trying to say in that video is you need to reevaluate your positions over time, because something that maybe was a good investment at $80 might not be a good investment at $280. And we're in a time in the hobby where you can still sell this stuff fairly easily. And it's a great opportunity to trim the fat per se, get rid of some of your less desirable investments. For me, I got rid of all my Divergent Powers tins. I made 150%. They have Evolving Skies in them. I still got rid of them. And the reason is because there is going to be much better places to put your money than a tin like this over the next few years. Also, someone left a comment saying that I need to look at stuff objectively because I said I don't like celebrations. Look, my personal bias towards celebrations is I don't enjoy the set, but if you look at it objectively, like looking at the Charizard UPC, the past 12 months, this UPC is up 33%. The regular ETB, 91. The PCTB, 102%. You compare that to basically any other set from the Sword and Shield era, Scarlet and Violet era, and you're behind, guys. With all that said, thank you so much for watching the video. It's Friday, so I'm gonna go watch the major. FaZe is playing the Mongols, I think here in an hour. Obviously cheering for FaZe. I'd love to see Elige get a major, and I think it'd be awesome for him to do it with Simple, just based on their history in Liquid. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.